Is October real? Is Bitcoin really going to see an expansionary move in the month of October and for the rest of Q4? Or is this simply a fake out narrative, and are we going to see Bitcoin come down to that major 25k level and flip bearish for October and the rest of Q4? Well, in today's video, I'm going to dive into the data, which is giving us a telltale sign of Bitcoin's next move. And today I want to break down what the data is showing from historical past cycles to work out what we might do this October and beyond for the rest of Q4 2023. I've got the bullish case, I also have the bearish case, and then at the end, I'm going to present my argument, what I think may happen, as well as showing you what you need to know on the charts. So the first thing to note is the current Bitcoin structure that we're in. If you go into the monthly chart, you can see that we are currently wedged in the middle of a key range between the 25k region and the 31.5k region. And the real question investors are asking right now is, are we going to make a push up towards the extremity of the range high here, or are we simply going to come back down and October becomes one big fake out back down to the 25k region and then simply teeter on the edge of a breakdown? So I want to dig into the data now and look at what has happened historically to give us an indication as to whether we will push up towards the top of this range or down towards the bottom of this range. And of course, as Bitcoin continues to range, there are opportunities both on the long side and the short side, and of course with altcoins as well to take advantage. The first thing I want to point out is that Bitcoin had a green September. It's one of the only times in Bitcoin's history that we've had a green September, and actually 4 out of the 5 times Bitcoin has been green in September, we've seen continuation, bullish continuation into the month of October. So most of the time when we do have a green September, we also have a green October. As you can see here, 4 out of the 5 times have resulted in not only positive price performance in October, but also often that extends beyond into the month of November and December as well. And corresponding to that, we know that Q4 is Bitcoin's strongest period. We have a mean performance for Bitcoin in quarter 4 of 93.38% compared to the other quarters, which are only 6%, 33%, and 4.67%. 60% of quarter 4s end up bullish for Bitcoin. So that is obviously in Bitcoin's favor. What's also in Bitcoin's favor is the fact that last time Bitcoin finished up during September of a pre-halving year, as Rand points out, we had another 70% rally in the last quarter of that year. That was back in 2015. And this is only a sample size of 1, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. But the more encouraging data set here is that green September 4 out of 5 times has led to a green October. And of course, Q4 is typically a good period for Bitcoin, and October is typically a good period for Bitcoin. But coming in as the second most bullish month in Bitcoin's history on average, behind November, which is by far the most bullish month in Bitcoin's history. So are we coiling up for an October and potentially an extension into an Upvember, with November being a strong month? Well, there is definitely an argument for this, and I want to read this post by Game for One, which reads out October, a short story, which kind of pinpoints the reason why the market could go up in October. And he says, price up on a random October due to seasonality effects. As we just looked through the seasonal data before, this repeats 1 to 2 times. One of these may just be a random coincidence. Market participants learn a pattern and get programmed to believe up prices during the period, aka investors chasing positive returns during Q4. Due to lower market liquidity, the larger players are able to further accelerate this both with their reach and dollars. Of course, the liquidity and the volume in the crypto market is historically very low at the moment. Shorts who haven't realized this pile in, they get slaughtered. So essentially you see a short squeeze, which pushes prices higher. Higher prices create narratives. Projects start dropping news. This is where the altcoins come into the fray during October, causing news pumps, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The sooner you submit, the better. Market doesn't care about you or your predispositions. It just ebbs and flows. So that is your strongest compelling argument for an October. The fact that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. People look at the previous data. They know that things are about to turn. They know what's coming with the Bitcoin halving and the Bitcoin spot ETF, and they start to pre-position themselves, and then it kind of just self-fulfills from there as people pile in and risk appetite builds up. And of course, eventually you have a leverage flush, but there is a green period in the interim there where you see positive price performance. That is your most bullish scenario for an October. However, I want to present to you the bearish scenario, so some of the warning signs that this may not be the case before I give you my opinion and also how I would actually approach this as an investor and a trader. So Benjamin Cowan, of course, kicks off the bearish argument here, saying that during the last 3 pre-halving years, Bitcoin has fell below its bull market support band in August/September. We are in the clear because that didn't happen this August/September. It only briefly happened. However, I think the argument he made on his Twitter the other day is that this could be extended into October or November. The purpose of this correction is to flush out as many of the scams and cash grabs prior to the halving. No guarantee it happens this time, but certainly a strong possibility. What he's pointing out here is basically that in Q4, prior to a halving year, Bitcoin tends to break below its bull market support bands, as we saw in